Hello, what's going on, guys? Lorca here, and today I want to talk to you about why you should pick the Saiyan race. This is definitely one of the more highly requested videos. I'm going to try my best to make this as concise as possible. So, easily, it can't go without saying that Saiyans are, in my opinion, the first race that you should pick. Anyone that is a beginner, Saiyan, I easily recommend pick Saiyan, and then depending on what you prefer out of the Saiyan, you'd either want to pick an Earth or a Namekian. The reason why I say this is because you get the best of both worlds with a Saiyan. You don't get the best out of PvE, you don't get the best out of PvP in some cases. So with a Saiyan, you're able to gauge which you prefer, and then let's say if you like the PvP route, then you're able to pick an Earth. Well, let's say if you like the player versus enemy, if you like the grind, if you like farming, then you would pick the Namekian side. But even then, let's say if you don't like any of these situations, you can straight up just pick a Saiyan because Saiyans are extremely versatile. This is the most versatile race. I don't think there's quite simply not any event that Saiyans just can't do. So if we look at things like World Martial Arts Tournament, it's easier for Namekians because of summon, but Saiyans also have workarounds to get results in that event, thing, in that thing. I don't in that event, in that platform, in that. All right, my mind is blanking, but like any feature, any fight that any race can do, Saiyans can do as well. It can be like a bit better or a bit worse than the intended race for it, but Saiyans can do it all. To use the same perspective as the World 23rd Martial Arts Tournament, for the longest time, the only race that was able to complete it was Namekians because you only needed the barrier to entry was only like 100,000 attack. If you could clear that, then you were able to kill every single boss, right? It wasn't until like people just figured out, oh, you just need more attack on Saiyan, and then you just go ape, right? And then that shit's easy as hell. And lo and behold, a lot of things also get discovered by Saiyans, believe it or not, because they're the most versatile. They can they can venture into different areas without that require more risk. I remember as a new player, I wasn't really able to go to a lot of different areas, including this place. This place was living hell if you were any race in the world because you got shot at by every single monster left and right. But if you're a Saiyan, literally, you get shot at and you just heal up. You have so many options to not die, and it's probably the greatest thing on the planet. Literally any other race, you have to hope to God that either someone is there fighting this monster, or you're at like a dead spot where nobody's gonna be able to hit you. But bottom line is, it's just convenient to have an auto recharge capability. That is a skill that no other race has, and it's extremely convenient. The biggest point that I want to show right now, we could probably straight up just go down this entire skill list, and going down that list would just convince you to pick a Saiyan. But one of the biggest points for a Saiyan is literally the speed boost. With Ape, you are straight up zooming through any other map without anything. You don't need any sort of special mask to manipulate your move speed. You can straight up just transform, and you are just the quickest guy on the planet. it makes me wonder why they haven't done anything transformation wise, because in a game, in a series, in a television show, in a whatever you want to call it, where transformations are paramount, it makes no sense that the only race that can transform is, oh, it makes no sense that there's only one race that can transform. Obviously, it does make sense that Saiyans are the ones that get transformations, but I'd love to see other races get transformations, like as we've seen before, like with Super Namekian, and then there's fucking Super Earth. Holy shit, there actually isn't that many transformations. I guess, yeah, I guess the Saiyan one is the only one that involves like your whole body type changing, so that makes sense in that regard. The coolest part about the ape transformation is at even at level 1, you're still getting the major amount of benefit from it. And so what do I mean by that? At level 1, let's see if I can maybe do the math here. Okay, I can't do the math here because it doesn't show the math there. But even at level 1, let's just say this ape lasts for about like 3 minutes, right? At level 1, it still lasts for X amount of seconds. And in that time frame, you still get guaranteed critical hits. So, look at this. Every single hit, oh, well, that 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 was fun. But every single hit that I do as an ape form, in ape form, will net me a guaranteed critical hit, and even then some, because, well, oh, Gallic Punch, I didn't know I had that. We'll have to see it after. But your HP increases slightly, it doubles and then goes a little bit above that. Your damage also goes a little bit above your normal damage, and you get guaranteed critical hits. It's quite possibly the I'm gonna say it. It's the most iconic skill in the game. Oh, my alarm's going off. And it is the most iconic skill in the game for a reason. Straight up, I didn't even associate this game with anything for the first like couple years or so besides ape transformations. Saiyans ruled this game to such a high degree that the only reason why Earths have so many stuns is to keep Saiyans in check. If not for that, we'd probably have a more balanced game, honestly. The thing is, Saiyans had their time for so long. The funniest thing is, even with all those buffs that the Earths got, Saiyans are still on top as a force to be reckoned with. Saiyans keep Earths in check, Earths keep Saiyans in check, and the Namekians are just there. Like this guy definitely is a Saiyan, bro. Ice Wallow. Ice Wallow? Weird ass name. Anyways, if that wasn't enough, in terms of manipulating your HP, Saiyans literally have a skill for whistling. This will double your HP for X amount of seconds, which is freaking wild. You may be wondering, what even is the point of this? Saiyans, like I said before, are very versatile. They do it all. They're not as good at healing as Namekians. They're not as great as at stunning as Earths, but they have a whistle item. They have a whistle skill that acts as a support. So it's kind of like a Namekian, but not really. So what this does is it'll increase your HP and people around you that are in league with you. Meaning that those around you that aren't a Namekian I'll explain that a little bit. But those around you also get an HP boost. The I think a cool nod to the actual anime itself is whistling actually hurts Namekians. So if you whistle, it'll actually decrease. I don't know by how much, but I think it's anywhere near like it's either anywhere from like 1 to 5%, maybe 1 to 10%, that a Namekian will lose their HP if you whistle. There used to be a glitch in the game where if you sped up the game, you could actually whistle spam. So people would, this was like before mods. Mods were still available at the time. They just weren't like, they basically exposed you. But that's a different, oh, you know what? That's a different video for a different day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In any case, there is this thing called Game Hack Tool where you could speed up the game data, and what that would do is your skills would instantly refresh. And people did that to destroy Namekians. Literally, all they'd have to do was turn on their shield and then turn on the speed up and then just spam this all the doodah day. They could kill Namekians without a single touch to them. All they'd have to do would be that final blow. Pause. That final punch to the Namekian when they're at like 1 HP. Because there is no getting around an attack that attacks you internally. It's essentially the Mafuba, but you can spam it relentlessly and you get a boost from it. Dude, the old DBO was fucking amazing. I wish I recorded a lot of like the new stuff, but I wasn't around then. I wasn't out of the womb. And if that wasn't the best part about Saiyans, the you know what, we probably covered the best part about Saiyans. But there are some really crazy niches, however you want to say it. For example, they have the strongest base punch in the game. So there are three different types of punches. There's Demon, which is for Namekians. There is Dragon, which is for Earths, and there is Gallic, which is for Saiyans. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong. Demon punches do 150% damage. Dragon punches do 160% damage. They're the slowest as well. And then Gallic is the second fastest, and they do 170% damage. So they are quintessentially the strongest punch, the strongest base punch that is available in game to. Why am I moving like that? That's available to every character, right? In addition to that, they have the second strongest blast out of any of the bunch, right? So Atomic does 290%. I believe Earth's have a 450% blast, but the Kamehameha wave takes so long to recharge that it's not as good for fighting monsters, which that's definitely going to be covered in the Earthling video. um, but it goes back to us saying how versatile Saiyans are, because they're not as fast as the Namekians, but you can still take out a blast and then shoot a monster in a reasonable time frame. With let's compare this to an Earthling. I would take almost double the time just to shoot these guys. And if I'm a new player, or if this monster was as strong as me, I would be in big trouble. Because I can't straight up I wouldn't be able to attack this. I wouldn't be able to fight as efficiently. I keep moving like that, which is weird. Oh, my finger is touching the. That makes a lot of sense. Let's see. In addition to, there are some dumb things though. In a patch, maybe about, I want to say about like a year or two ago, they made it so that you cannot. Well, I stand corrected. I believe this has to do with monsters and PvP, but you can't tie someone while using shield. So this limits you immensely as a Saiyan. So you have to get your tie correctly. You have to time your tie correctly, or else you're not going to be able to fight properly. Why they don't do the same nerf to Earths, I have no idea. I believe in Vietnam the meta could still favor Saiyans, and then maybe in our server, Earths are just, they just reign supreme. But in any case, let us ape again. We're gonna test right now. All right. The coolest thing about apes is that any one of the skills that Namekians have. So Namekians would have bird, and then Earths have Kaioken in that skill. In that fourth skill, all of them straight up take so much ki, so much resources to use. But Saiyans only have resources that benefit them, that benefit their toolkit. And I think that is a huge difference. Because if you're having skills that only benefit you, everything is less of a hassle. Nothing is wasted. Let's take Namekians and Earths, for example. You have to get a lot of beans to train them. You have to get a lot of slots, a lot of convert HP gear, a lot of convert key gear, if you want to be able to train them efficiently, obviously barring Disciple. By the way, oh my goodness, I totally recommend having 50 million alarms, because that is the only way that a person can get up in today's day and age. A lot of editing going on, you know what I'm saying? And we haven't even touched on one of the most important skills, in my opinion. So, we all know that in order to get ahead in this game, you need a disciple. You need a disciple no matter what. And for Saiyans, this is the easiest to get. I don't know who the first, what was the first race to get a disciple, but I'll bet my bottom dollar was a Saiyan. The reason why is Suicide Bomb. So this is Saiyan Skill 5. You may actually, I don't want to say it, that'll probably get me demonetized. But we'll just call this Saiyan Skill 5. Saiyan Skill 5 is one of the most iconic in the game, only because this straight up murks everyone around you. Every single percent of your HP is accounted for, and I think in the, let's see, let's look at this. Oh, so in the lower levels, I still believe that we can always check. It does a portion of your HP. In the higher levels, it does more HP than it does more damage than your HP. But how this move is calculated is it takes your HP and that it deals that much damage. So it is such a powerful blast. You have no idea. With other blasts similar of that nature, they can be countered easily because they take ki into factor. Not many players have to focus on ki. If you, the thing with Namekians is if they do a full ki build, there is no, like, they're essentially a glass cannon. So if they have a lot of ki, they fuck themselves on resources, right? Because you have to get a lot of ki. You have to 6-slot your disciple with ki, right? You have to spend so much money on ki alone, and it's not worth it at all. For Saiyans, let's say if you get a full HP build, even if it's just to get this bomb underway, even if, look at that, dude, it freaking destroyed everyone here. Even if you weren't going to use it for bomb, you're still left with a solid HP. Like, nobody is going to be able to kill you. Whereas Namekians, if they have a full ki build for their blast, they're still going to be killed easily because of it. That's why I like to say Saiyan's skill set complements them extremely well. Everything works well with the Saiyan. You could add anything to a Saiyan's toolkit besides anything that, like, actually, yeah, you can add anything to a Saiyan's toolkit and it'll work. It'll work just because of the skill here. But yeah, most revolutionary fucking like if I were to build any sort of race or anything like that, I like to keep Saiyan in mind because this is how you build. I don't know. This is how you build a character. Honestly, that's why I think Saiyans are the most versatile. I definitely think if I make like a definitive guide on who to pick, what race to pick, I'll definitely keep this in mind because this definitely opened a lot of eyes for me. All right, that's it. See ya.